Welcome back to TNLP, the newsletter podcast, brought to you by the HazMat Guys. Timmy here with the top hazmat news from the past week, and some heavy hitters at that. Without wasting any time, we start with a stinky situation out of Ogden, Utah. Sorry in advance for the number of puns that come out of this one. The city of Ogden is now footing the bill for the stinky cleanup of a meat processing facility that was apparently left abandoned by the company running it. 3 weeks after 2 News first reported neighbors' complaints about the smell emanating from the facility, 2 News' Natalie Wattis is following up with the city about the cleanup that started Friday. On Friday morning, crews in full hazmat gear and tanks have been going in and out with shovels and a wheelbarrow to start the cleanup of the rotting meat inside. What is it like for you to come outside of your own home and not be able to enjoy, like, your backyard or anything? Asked 2 News reporter Natalie Wattis of nearby neighbor Bob Burns. Yeah, it was just stinky, you just couldn't handle it, Burns said. So we just stayed in. A couple of weeks ago, people living next to Mountain West Meats in Ogden said the stench of something rotting prompted them to ask the city for help. When I put in the complaint, I was on the chat with whoever and told them, hey, we got to have somebody out here, Burns said. This was on a Sunday, and then Monday they were here. On Friday, 2 News asked the city, what happened here? The owner of Mountain West Meat Facility here operated this place for decades on their own and transitioned into retirement, from what we understand recently, said Mike McBride, Public Information Officer for the City of Ogden. The operator switched in recent months and has been abandoned by that individual since. The city had to go through the legal process of abatement to be allowed to go in and clean up because it's privately owned. It's been loosely reported that there's just left meat. It's in what used to be a refrigerated locker, McBride said. 3 weeks later, specialized teams are working to get all of that material out, and it's the city that's on the hook for forking over the money to get this done up front through the city's general fund. Initially, the city pays for, in this case, ServPro to be here, but then we take that cost and we pass it along to the owner of record, McBride said, so they will be ultimately responsible to pay for the cost of this. That cost could range anywhere from hundreds to upwards of $10,000. We only contact the owner on record, and that individual has been really cooperative with us, McBride said. Behind me, you can kind of see that ServPro is here and EnviroCare. They're here cleaning up the site today, McBride said. You can see we have an oxygen trailer. It's actually pumping oxygen into the building so that it's safe for humans to be inside. There's very high levels of volatile organic compounds inside, which really lowers oxygen levels and makes it unsafe to be inside. What do you want to see happen with that place now that they're cleaning it? Wattis asked Burns. Well, they can tear it down. I mean, that's what everybody wants, Burns said. 2 News took that question to the city. The one neighbor I spoke with said that the neighborhood just wants to see the building come down. Have you heard anything to that effect yet? Yeah, and that may be an option, but right now we're just going to have to evaluate what we find once we're done here, McBride said. This is highly unusual. For a property owner to just abandon is not common at all, McBride said. The city said all of the rotted meat they're taking out of there will go directly to the landfill. My condolences to whoever has to be the one to transport it there. Up next, big win for the IAFF. The International Association of Firefighters has revealed it's been awarded more than $8 million in federal funding to expand its hazmat response training programs, the largest grant in the union's history. The 5-year award comes from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, through the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences, NIEHS, and will bolster the IAFF's Hazardous Waste Worker Training Program and Hazmat Disaster Preparedness Training programs. It will also be used to develop new training materials to help modernize the fire service. General President Edward Kelly commented, the long-standing partnership between the IAFF and the NIEHS has been vital to many of the advancements in firefighter safety and training we've accomplished. This funding will ensure we continue to provide firefighters with the training, knowledge, and tools they need to address hazardous materials emergencies and keep themselves and their communities safe. The IAFF and NIEHS have partnered to ensure firefighters have the capabilities to respond to hazmat emergencies through the union's comprehensive training programs. Under the previous 5-year grant, the IAFF certified nearly 4,000 firefighters in hazmat emergency response. The additional grant money will allow the IAFF to train an additional 6,500 firefighters over the next 5 years. The award will also support the expansion of the IAFF's new Responding to Renewable Energy Emergencies program. This comprehensive course, launched earlier this year, gives firefighters the tools to combat electric vehicle and other types of clean energy fires. The IAFF has also spotlighted how it is poised to develop a first-of-its-kind program for implementing drone technology into the fire service. This new program will provide comprehensive training on the optimal use of drone technology, as well as prepare participants for the Federal Aviation Administration's Remote Pilot Certification exam. Rounding out this week, we leave you with a threat to watch out for. CBS News Detroit reports local health officials in Wayne County, Michigan, have confirmed the presence of Legionella pneumonia, also known as Legionnaire's disease, at a senior living facility in Dearborn. Legionnaire's disease is a severe form of pneumonia that is sometimes fatal. The common signs include fever, cough, headache, chest pain, and shortness of breath. The Wayne County Health, Human, and Veteran Services said Monday it is actively working with Allegria Village and the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services on the case. As part of the investigation into cases of Legionnaire's disease among residents of Allegria Village, said the statement attributed to Avani Sheth, MD, MPH, the Chief Medical Officer and Division Director of Clinical Care Services. Testing of the affected area's water system has detected the presence of Legionella bacteria, the organism that causes Legionnaire's disease. Health officials said they are working with Allegria Village on response steps that include disinfection and remediation of affected areas, alternative water sources where deemed appropriate, and explaining symptoms of the disease to residents and staff. Cases of Legionnaire's disease have been on the increase during the past 20 years, according to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention data. It's not usually transmitted person to person, and healthy people typically do not get sick after infection. But the bacteria can settle into inside plumbing systems in larger buildings, the Wayne County health officials explained. People who are most at risk of exposure include adults over age 50, smokers, and those who have chronic lung conditions. It can take 5 or 6 days, sometimes as much as 26 days, for someone infected with Legionnaire's disease to show symptoms, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports. In response to the circumstances, Allegria Village provided the following statement Monday afternoon. Allegria Village remains committed to the health and safety of its residents and continues to take the current Legionella concerns seriously. In coordination with the local health department, the state of Michigan, and IWC Innovation, we are actively engaged in addressing the matter with the highest level of diligence. As part of our ongoing response, our water management team has completed a chemical sanitization of the affected water system, and we are continuing to monitor the situation closely. These actions are part of our broader water management and safety protocols that are regularly reviewed and updated as necessary. We will continue to cooperate fully with all agencies involved and take every necessary step to ensure a safe living environment for our residents. Not the first story of Legionnaire's disease hitting my desk recently. We'll keep reporting on this one if it becomes a bigger thing. Before signing off, I have one more note here. Looks like the guys part of the HazMat Roundtable have announced their annual conference scholarship. Your next conference experience could be fully paid for. Check out more details at thehazmatguys.com/roundtable for more info and to apply now. That's going to do it for this week's episode of the Newsletter Podcast, brought to you by the HazMat Guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the weekly newsletter at thehazmatguys.com for links to TNLP and other hazmat nuggets. And tell your friends too. Timmy, over and out.